I'm Lauren Whitehurst. I'm a certified personal trainer and certified nutrition coach.
Hi, I'm Sunny Lippincott. I'm a certified professional life coach and a certified brain health professional.
We also have Angela Salyers, who is a licensed professional counselor, and the three of us together make up
Whole Life Vitality.
We teach whole life vitality of the mind, body, and soul, bringing the physical, emotional, and spiritual together for whole life wellness. Welcome back.
Welcome.
We are here today to talk to you about, what is it, Sunny?
Power of the pause.
It sounds like a movie.
It does.
It sounds like a movie title. Like it would be, I don't know, maybe like a serial killer dog. Power in the pause. Oh, like a superhero dog. Yeah, that's
Cujo. Cujo.
Power.
For all the 90s kids out there, it's Cujo.
Power of the pause, power in the pause.
In the pause. Power in the pause.
Okay, what does that mean? Power in the pause.
Okay, so we decided to talk about this because we had a really rough week last week.
Yeah, I was going to say weekend, but I think that it was first week of school.
Yes.
For us, for our kids, and first week of sports. Like everything kind of started at once.
Yeah.
Business was busy.
Yeah.
Life was busy. And then you add hormones and emotional upheaval.
We have teenage daughters.
Teenagers on top of that. And it was a rough week.
It was a lot. It was a
Yeah.
lot. And so we thought, how can we help with stress?
Yeah.
Because we can't be the only two that
It's
have
never just
stress.
us. I mean, me too, right? Anybody else? You know, it's never just us.
And we've talked about that. Stress is the number one reason for primary care visits is stress.
Yep.
So what can we do? And that's when I was like, well, there are multiple different techniques.
Yep. We
that
started
people
talking
have.
about stress and we were like, well, that's a whole podcast on its own. And that's a whole podcast on its own. So
We're not giving you like a 2-hour podcast. You're welcome.
I mean, we could.
We could.
If you want that, let us know. But we're not today.
But we're not. No, I'm a product of 2-hour sermons when I was little
gosh,
at
yes.
church, and I'm like, I'm never doing that to someone. I'm never going to sit there.
We will not put you through that.
Okay, so we decided let's take one.
Yes.
Let's take one and the pause. So 90 seconds. So I want you to remember that number. 90 seconds. There is like this whole chemical reaction that happens in your body in the first 90 seconds that an event comes up.
So you get bad news or someone cuts you off in the car or
Yes.
your child comes in and tells you that they hate you. I
Yes.
don't know. Like could be anything. I'm just not saying that
Yes.
from experience.
Back-to-back appointments. Someone's leaves you a really negative comment or review.
Yep.
The first 90 seconds, your body goes into this whole process of like fight or flight.
Your adrenals wake up and they say, "What? It's time to play?"
Yeah. Or fight or scream
Yes.
or
Freeze,
all the
fawn.
things. 90 seconds. That's where the reaction lies, is in the 90 seconds.
Yep.
And so with coaching, truly what we're trying to get across to people is to be like, let's be responsive. Let's respond, but let's not react.
Yeah. Do you have control over you, or are you going to let the situation have control over you? What's going to lead the situation here?
Absolutely. And we are avoiding the reaction. We want you to be proactive, respond, be proactive, but not reactive. Because after you are reactive, then you have increased the stress levels in your body.
Yep.
At that point, You start, we've all felt that, like coming down after you just like went off on
That's
someone.
a hard thing to come down from.
Oh, you're shaking.
It's rough.
You feel it. You have the shakes. You're very, very anxious within your body, very angry. Still, you ruminate. You begin to ruminate. You've had full-on conversation with yourself for the rest of the day on what else you should have said or what you could have said.
I tell my child, it's like the monster that lives inside of you.
Right.
And that monster, it gets hungry sometimes.
Yeah.
And it comes up and it wants to feed. And then you feed it and you're giving it that fuel and that energy to then continue to get bigger and louder and kind of ultimately take over.
The monster's hunger is insatiable too.
Oh, yes.
You need to like remember that. The reaction part is insatiable.
Yep.
Like there will never be enough that you can say or enough things that you can do that you feel satisfied with yourself afterwards.
Yep.
When you are in the reactive part. So 90 seconds. So that's what we're going to talk about. What can we do within those 90 seconds? So let's just say someone just went off on you. Okay. They, you just laid into you. 90 seconds. What can you do?
And that's when all of the things first start happening, just those 90 seconds. So maybe you're like, I want to punch them, or I want to yell at them, or I want to crawl into a corner and cry, or I just stand there and freeze with my jaw on the floor and don't know what to do. Like all of those things react inside of you so quickly, but then we choose one to proceed with.
Yes. So choices. This is where the proactivity comes in. First of all, so I told this story. We flew out to Vegas, and the flight back, we were in Houston. We caught a flight. We were in Houston, and sat on the plane for like 2.5 hours on the runway before they unloaded us off the plane and said, hey,
my
you're not going to be able to fly tonight.
Brutal.
It was awful.
Brutal.
And the plane, when it's just sitting, it's hot.
Yes.
So you've got heat, you've got
Texas.
People yelling. It was awful. It was awful.
Because the energy slowly shifts in the cabin too, as people get more and more irritated. We've all been there.
It was bad. And we live about 7.5 hours from Houston. We had to be home the next day.
Yeah.
Had to. That morning we had to. And what options did we have? And in that moment, I was tired. I was hungry. It was like 10:30 p.m. I had not eaten. And my husband...
You've been traveling all day.
I've been traveling all day. My husband and my brother-in-law, they're trying to be, proactive. And I was just mad. And so when they're telling me my options, all I had to do was pause. Because in the pause, I could have thought through things. But what I did was just snap.
Yep.
I just snapped. And then as my body is shaking, because I have snapped on them, and they are in the same predicament that I'm in,
Yep.
I was like, I'm just going to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I went to the bathroom. And that's when it hit me, the pause.
Yeah.
There was power in the pause.
If you just take
if I
that.
had just.
And how long does it take to take a couple of breaths?
That's the first step.
Right.
While I was in the bathroom, in the pause, when you take the 90 seconds, breathing, that is so vastly important. In the box breathing. And it's real easy to remember that. It's 4-4-4-4. It makes a box. So you inhale through the nose, count to 4. Then you hold it for 4. Then you breathe out of your mouth for 4. And then you hold that for 4. And you just do that over and over again.
I'm doing it while you're talking. I can't help it. I can't help but do it while you talk.
Well, I did it in the stall. I mean, I was so angry and I was shaking and I just shut myself in the stall and I just started breathing.
Yeah.
Just that over and over and over breathing. And
it slows your heart rate.
It
calms your mind.
Everything down.
Your nervous system begins to settle.
Absolutely. Because I was running
Yep.
I was overheated. Our bodies get overheated just like our phones and our laptops, everything. So I had slowed myself down.
Have you ever seen a bull? Like they throw an angry bull out in a pen. That's kind of what I feel like happens inside of us, because it feels out of control.
Oh,
it feels like you just can't control any of it, and you're almost along for the ride of what is this angry beast going to do next.
Yeah, like the bull in the china shop. Isn't that the saying? It's so true. So true. So that was the first step, was just taking the pause.
Yep.
Like just pause and breathing
Yeah.
through that was huge. Like that was huge. And then I separated myself. I had chosen to separate yourself. That's another step. Separate yourself from the situation, from what's going on.
Yep.
So whether you walk away physically or you hang up the phone, whatever it is, you walk away. And I literally, in that stall, I just released. So I just like
The floodgates opened.
yelled in the stall.
Yep.
Just got it out.
Yep.
Like just got it out.
What's funny is if anyone else heard you at the airport, I'm sure they were all like, "We get it, girl."
Yeah, I got it. I got
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Just yelled. I was just like, and then I did some more breathing. And in that moment, truly, after I had, I separated myself, I kind of yelled, and then I did my breathing. It hit me. What are your options? And I legit said that out loud. What are my options?
Yep.
My options are, I have to be home tomorrow.
Yeah.
So what can I do about that?
Turns
I
into
can't
a solution-based conversation.
Yes. I went from being problem focused to solution based.
Yep.
And I knew I couldn't fly. There's no planes going out.
Yep.
So I said, okay, we have to rent the car and we have to drive all night. That's what my option is. I might not love it, but that's what I'm going to do.
And you had an option.
I did have an option.
You weren't stuck there. You didn't miss the thing the next morning
Right.
that you had to be home for. You had an
the
option.
And I walked out, and like you could see the terror in their eyes.
What's she gonna do
What
now?
is she going to do? And it was so crazy because I was so calm when I
Yeah.
walked up to them and I said, let's go see if we can rent a car and let's drive home. And
Did
they had
they
already
say, "What's
said
in
that
that
to me. They had already said that to me when I snapped on them. But
Yeah.
and moral of the story was I learned such a lesson in that moment. Truly, that it's easy to tell people these things
Yes,
and then not apply it.
100%.
But when you can actually apply it to your life, you see, wow, this makes a huge difference. And I had to apologize and take that. And they're probably both listening to this, so I'm like, I'm owning up to it. Okay, I'm not
Like, I was wrong. It's
there's no
me.
shame. I'm
the problem. It's
owning
me.
up to it. But I did, and since then I have really focused on that pause.
Yeah.
Like when I feel so reactive, to separate myself and just like, whether it's just a or just whatever it is, getting that out of my body and then doing some breathing.
Yep.
And then at that moment saying, what can I do here?
Yeah.
What are my options? What needs to happen? What is the solution? And it's amazing the clarity that'll come to you.
Completely. I have taught this to my children, especially my daughter, because she's very passionate. And I don't know if you know passionate people, but they can get 0 to 60 in,
Well, it's a superpower.
Like 0.2 seconds.
It's a superpower.
It is a superpower. It's
but with
amazing.
every superpower comes
Yes.
responsibility.
With great power. And so I've taught her to pause before she speaks, to pause before she does anything, really, because she gets worked up so quickly. So the other day, she had walked out of the room and I could tell she was upset. And she came back just a few minutes later and apologized for leaving. And I said, if you had just said, I need a second, before you stepped away, you wouldn't need to apologize.
Right.
There's no disrespect in saying, I need a second.
Yeah.
And excusing yourself from really any situation.
Right.
I don't think
just
there's
need
a
a minute.
single situation that you couldn't excuse yourself from politely. No one has to know what's going on.
Exactly.
But it has made a huge difference for us my child and I in our relationship, because I give her space to have that pause, and she gives me space to have that pause. And in doing that, we can take a breath and say, okay,
What's
this
the
personal?
solution?
Is this a battle I need to fight?
Right.
Or can we find a compromise or a solution or whatever here? Or, you know what, maybe I just need to get okay with a situation I'm not very happy about.
Yep.
They're all okay. They're all okay solutions.
At least they're solutions.
They're still solutions. Yeah.
Yes.
So it makes a big difference. If you let yourself get caught up in that fight or flight and you find yourself shaky and miserable afterwards, because it happens, even if you know all the things to do and you have all the tools, you still find yourself in that position. There are things you can do. The box breathing still works.
Yes.
You can also do what, it's like a nervous system reset, where you kind of just jump up, little jumps, stand up where you are and just shake everything.
Yes, movement.
Yes. Have you ever seen an animal in the wild, or your dog or your cat? They have an interaction and then they kind of shake all over.
Yeah.
They're shaking it off. They're giving themselves a little reset. And if you watch nature, every animal in the animal kingdom does this.
Yeah.
Because they know, they're like, literally shake it off.
Take it off.
And let your body reset.
Yeah.
And then you can move on with the next thing. So give yourself that 60 to 90 seconds and shake it out.
Shake it out. Like pause.
Yeah.
Power in the pause. Remember that 90
Yes.
seconds. Your body is undergoing that chemical reaction within 90 seconds. After that, there's clarity. On the other side of the 90 seconds, there is clarity.
Absolutely.
So just take a pause.
And it works with everything. This
Everything.
works with emotional interactions. It works with professional interactions. It works at airports. It works with food cravings. It works with everything. Anything that is really pulling on you, just give yourself the space
Yeah.
to just take a second, or 90 of them.
Or, 90 second spaces.
Oh, Sunny, thank you so much for sharing that story with
Absolutely.
us. That's a good
And,
one.
Yeah. Well, let's be real here. Let's get real.
That's what we need to do. If you want to be real with us, if you're like, oh my gosh, me too, been there, we would love to hear your stories.
What's your airport story? Give it to me.
Oh my gosh. It doesn't
Lay it
have to
on
be
me.
an airport, let me tell you, because those airport stories happen everywhere.
Share with us.
That's right.
We'd love it. We're this community.
Yes.
That's what we are. We're community. So share it with us. Comment and just, hey, I'm here too.
Find us on social media. We're on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. We're on all the places. Oh my gosh, we're even on Threads now. Let me tell you, we're everywhere.
I'm telling you.
We're everywhere. And we would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for coming. Check us out at wholelifevitality.com and check out our freebies for our 30-day mindset reset. It is a great way to get started on your mindset journey. Super fun for the whole family and free.
Love free.
Yep, love free. All right. We'll see you next time, friends.
Bye, guys.